Hey everybody, it's Rob here. I quickly want to talk about like some details you may have missed in the recent developer stream and some stuff we figured out like after rewatching a lot of the content here with the upcoming Gauntlet. We'll get the full patch notes here later today. And there's this blog post here stating all around the Gauntlet, and I made some additional notes basically here about some of the new shrines, new pillars, and what it might mean for the game. And I'm going to link to all this in the description below. But yeah, basically, the first thing that a lot of people may have missed is that the Gauntlet doesn't start right away. Like, there's basically like a gate here you need to click, and then only then the Gauntlet begins. This basically allows you, especially if you're playing in a team, to, like, you know, plan your strategy, like you all load in, there's no like time lost during loading screen, things like that. So that's already like pretty good. And then once you click the gate here, like once you click it, boom, the Gauntlet begins. And yeah, so it's basically been confirmed, like just getting some TLDR out of the way. It starts next week. It's season only. It's region wide. So if you're in Eternal Realm, guys, unfortunately, this will not be in the Eternal Realm. But you will be competing with all the different regions, like and with all the different platforms. Then we have Nightmare 170 difficulty. This has been confirmed. So bosses have about 30 million HP. Elites have 1 to 2 million life. Things like that. It's a linear layout. It changes every week. And they also actually said here in the blog post that the Gauntlet concludes every week at 8 a.m. This is Pacific time, so this would be 5 p.m. Europe, like 5 in the afternoon, or 8 a.m. US time, and 2.5 hours later, so 10 a.m. US and 7:15 p.m. Europe time, we're gonna get the new Gauntlet. I think this is actually a pretty good timings, like, and it gives you like 2 hours, you know, to kind of prepare for the new Gauntlet, and a couple of hours like to push the last Gauntlet. So I think the timing on this actually feels really good. And one of the most important things, guys, you can't switch your gear or skills or Paragon. This has been really cool because this is basically eliminating like all the most of the snapshot stuff. And yeah, I'm still not sure because they mentioned you're gonna have your pet in there. And I'm not sure if you are able to switch your skills from your pet. I've seen a lot of people, for example, snapshotting the flash of adrenaline. So we'll see how that thing goes with the snapshots. But yeah, it's going to be a lot about strategy, like how you want to strategize. And there's like a lot of like different directions you can take every time. And then you have basically 2 new shrines in this game. And that's going to make it pretty insane in terms of like strategizing around it. It's the Pillar of Proving and the Pillar of Glory. So the Pillar of Proving basically resummons all the monsters that you were already fighting. So I think it is somewhere like here. This is stashes. Wait, I think it was this video.
That is also going to give you 35% movement.
Yeah, here you see like here whenever he engages into some. Oh, this is the key footage. You basically like get to respawn. I think it was like earlier here in this footage. You get to respawn like all the monsters that you have already killed, and then you can kill them again. This basically like means you're gonna backtrack a lot, and there seems to be 3 to 4 of these in these dungeons, and we actually don't know if you maybe will be able to click these multiple times if you are playing in a party, right? Like, so maybe, you know how it works with a normal shrine. You click it once, let's say Blast Wave shrine, I click it, and then only I have it, and then, I don't know, my Necromancer friend clicks it, and then he gets it as well. So this is Pillar of Proving, like just resummons all the monsters that you already killed. And maybe in a party you can actually do this like multiple times or many times over. And then there is the other shrine here that basically allows you to get a bunch of extra progression here. This is the, here's the footage I was looking for. So yeah, this is the first shrine, the resummon shrine. You see he clicks it. It's called Pillar of Proving. He clicks it. And then all the monsters that he already killed come back to life, including all the bosses and stuff. And maybe different players can click this as well. Then there's a second shrine here. Looks like this, Pillar of Glory. You click it and it says your deeds echo. And now whenever he kills monsters, they spawn these animus on the ground, and these, thank God, seem to be auto pickup. There's some animals that can spawn on the ground that's not auto pickup, but this only seems to be happening on the chest. So you can see here, like these things, they follow you and they fly into you, and you see, boom, everything is auto pickup. So that's really cool, and it basically gives you extra score points, and not too little of them. Then you can also get these keys, and you can see here there is a minimap icon for this boss here that he's fighting. Because this is basically jumped 5 seconds back. You can see it here. There's like a minimap icon up here. This basically means that there is, I don't know, like an elite or a boss that has a key. So once he kills this, it drops an iron key. And these keys are needed to open the chests. And when you open those chests, they also drop you enemies. And this one, I've seen this in this footage on the Sorc. You need to be very careful that you're picking it. Because I've seen here, like these are not like really getting auto picked up. You see here the sorcerer is leaving all of this stuff on the ground. So the stuff from the shrine that you spawn seems to get auto picked. But the stuff out of the chests seem to not be auto picked. And this guy is losing a lot of progression because he just doesn't pick it. You see? It's all on the ground here. And the next chest, I think it's the same thing. He opens it, boom, and then some of it gets picked, but then the rest here just, like, he completely misses it. So you definitely want to be careful when you're opening those chests that you know, go around, and just like the cinders, you need to pick all this progression stuff. So, I don't know, this will slow you down a lot, I feel, in practice as well. In theory and in practice, so I'm not really a big fan, but I'm happy that at least, you know, this shrine animus is all auto-pick. You see, it all flies after you. Once he kills the monsters. So that one is really good. And then there might be some really hidden, pretty good stat here. And that would be the shrine buff duration. Because the Pillar of Proving is a one-time click thing. But the Pillar of Glory, it basically is like a shrine. And it stays, or like you keep the buff on your character. You see, like whenever he clicks that shrine. So the first one, he doesn't get an icon, right? Like he clicks the Pillar of Resummoning here. There's no shrine icon that appears. But on the second one here, when he clicks it, you see down here, there's a shrine icon that appears. So this means, most likely, obviously I haven't played this, but that you can buff this by having shrine buff duration on your gear. So you can effectively increase the duration of you getting extra score when you have shrine buff duration on your gear. And you can actually get quite a bit. You can get 12% on boots. There could be boots that look like this. Movement speed, shrine buff duration, injured, and then maybe some rest if you need. And amulet like this. Movement speed, cooldown, shrine buff duration. And then maybe you want on Sorc mana cost reduction. Or on Barb you want broadening skill damage. So this can actually increase, and keep in mind this 16.5 is only unbuffed, right? So if I upgrade this, it's going to be in 16.5 times 1.5. So it's actually going to give you about 25% more duration to your shrines. And the boots are going to give you another 18% duration. And this will, by the looks of it, apply to the Pillar of Glory, further increasing your progression. And also, you can do some pretty crazy strategies. If you notice here, whenever he kills the boss just drops a normal shrine. You see here when he kills the boss, he just gets a channeling shrine. And you can do this multiple times. Again, if you then click the, get used to the name, the Pillar of Proving, you then resummon the boss and you get to spawn the shrine again. I think he does it here. So he kills this boss. He's very slow as a necromancer. Not that crazy single target DPS. So he clicks it, gets an artillery shrine, and then he goes and clicks this Pillar of Proving. Boom. The foes rise again. And now the boss is risen again, and he kills it again. And whenever he kills it, it's gonna spawn another shrine. You see, boom, another, and it's the same shrine apparently. So you get another artillery shrine from this, and you can really strategize around this and just stack a bunch of shrine buff duration. Shrines also increase your base movement speed. I think it's 25 or 30%. So you're also keeping extra movement speed up. So if you're not having 200% movement speed yet, this shrine buff duration further buffs your movement speed basically. So I'm not really sure if this is going to be the meta, but it looks to be at least pretty valuable to have this shrine buff duration. I'm really not a big fan of this. I don't really like this RNG kind of part. I mean, I guess it's going to be the same for everybody. But still, like, getting this shrines, and then you also have the Aharian Spear of Lycander, which basically allows you to spawn a random shrine, right? So, this one is also going to feel very weird. Let me go on my builds and show you this. On a Druid, for example, I could take it. So we go for the Spear of Lycander. And this one here allows you to get even more shrines that then also are affected by that shrine buff duration. So we'll see how crazy the RNG part of the shrines will be there. But yeah, and then there's also going to be lots of strategy around like these keys, like when you spend it, when you pick it and stuff like that. So not really sure exactly, like, because there's been a lot of like different sized chests here, right? Like, and it seems to be that the chests are on one part of the dungeon and a lot of the shrines are on the other part of the dungeon. And you see, this looks like a small chest, but there's also like bigger chests. And one thing that I talked about briefly last video already, it has me a bit concerned that there seems to be a finite amount of monsters in the game. And I think especially during group play, this is just a hunch, but I'm a bit worried that we might end up killing all the monsters in the dungeon and then completely run out of monsters, even if we resurrect them like 4 times. Like, especially in organized 4-player party, you can see here the different sizes. I think you gotta be like mindful of which chest you want to open. But in the end, you might run out of monsters to fight. And in general, the density doesn't really seem to be, you know, all too crazy. I would have really loved to see some more density. And he really like knows more, like that he needs to be picking these animus or whatever things, progression score that's coming out of the chest. And he also seems to only go for the big chests, right? You see the small chests just skipped. Because I think Leviathan here also had quite some experiments. It looked pretty good. And he also got by far the highest score. And obviously he was playing Barb, so man, let's go. He got 300k score. And I think the others got around like 200k. So he got like 50% more score with his charge Barb. And yeah, in general, it looks pretty strong. Yeah, Conduit might also be pretty cool. But I have not seen any Conduit shrines in here. Maybe that means they don't exist. Or maybe it just means they just didn't get any Conduit shrines, right? But there will definitely be quite some strategies around, you know, like where you go first, when do you click which resurrection shrine, especially in parties, like you need to always make choices. And that part is definitely going to be interesting. Like, I definitely wish we would have had a bit more like of a difficult content. But I think now that I thought a bit about it, like for a few hours and discussed with some people, that it's definitely still going to be very interesting to see like what people will come up with in this like more speed focused content. And especially if we're going to get Abattoir Vizier, you know, back, maybe for season 4 or on the PTR server, we'll see. We'll learn more next week. Then, yeah, this will just be like a more speed focused stuff, and a real end game, like challenging, hard for your character build is going to be, you know, the Abattoir Vizier. Because I think in this, like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, we will go, you don't need, like, you see this guy, he never takes any damage. Like, the entire time we've been watching, he basically, I mean, like, no any significant damage, right? So what will probably end up happening, guys, we will drop all our armor, we will drop all our resistance, because it doesn't matter. You see, he's like fighting 10 elites, he doesn't have any barrier, and his life doesn't change at all. So, yeah, DPS income is Nightmare Dungeon 70, so this is like, you know, maybe you need like 7k armor or something. You just go 0 armor, I guess. Like, we've been doing this on the Sorc before. Like, just don't go armor. I don't think it matters. You don't need rest either. You go full movement speed, full utility. Like, it's gonna be a speed run, basically. That's the way it looks like. And yeah, there's gonna be some cool rewards. They also laid this out in the blog post. There's a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna link this below as well. But I basically like talked about most of this. Like, there's like the reward feature here. And yeah, here up on the weekly reset of the Gauntlet, and again, this is on a Tuesday, morning US, evening Europe time. You'll earn cash of trials, and these will contain like item power, line 25 gear and stuff like this. And listen to this here: the higher your score, the better the cash you'll earn for that week. So if you're higher place, you will get more rewards, basically. That's going to be pretty cool in the end. And then there is this Hall of Fame. And there's like one important sentence here. So class-specific letters will only be designated for those playing solo. This means there are 16 possible weekly letters assigned in total. Like, and we've seen this here. This is how it looks like at the end, basically. Like, you get the seals and stuff, and you get these cash rewards. But there's also, this is like the leaderboard, and you can see it. Like the top 10, they get a specific reward, and then it keeps going down. And then there's all the different 2-player and solo leaderboards. But it also looks like your best score across all characters and platforms are the one that will make your spot amongst the great. So the way I understand this is only, you know, like let's say you're playing a Necromancer and the Barb. Most likely the Barb is gonna like have a higher score on average than the Necromancer. So only your Barb score will be basically like placed in this like Hall of Fame. But that also, at least to me, means that there might be people like just chasing the meta class, right? Because, okay, I mean, you might be good on the solo rogue leaderboard or something, but if the best class is a sorcerer to get the highest score, then you might want to play on a sorcerer to get the best score across all classes and platforms that will mark your spot amongst the like the top. I don't know. This is at least how I understand it. But let me know in the comments what you think of that and how you interpret this. But yeah, there will also be for top 100 of any ladder. So this doesn't matter again. Like in any of the 16 ladders here, top 100 spot will always give you a Conqueror's Mount trophy. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to look like, but you're going to get some extra rewards. So not only do you get items, you also get cosmetics, and you basically get entry into the Hall of the Ancients and onto the leaderboards. So that's going to be looking pretty cool. Then they briefly touched on an inspect feature. So right now, if you're inspecting someone's profile, you don't really see much, and they will update this. So not only can you see their items and stats basically on the items, but you will also be able to see their skill bar and their key passive. I don't think they said nothing about Paragon, so I guess Paragon and like the full skill tree and the pet follower stuff will not be displayed, but we're definitely going to get upgrades here. But yeah, in the end, I think there's going to be a huge demand basically for people to figure out, you know, what the top players actually played. And I will do my best, you know, to share and shed a lot of light on, you know, the kind of setups that people in my network or people in the community and people on the leaderboards, also from China, because I'm expecting there's going to be a lot of Chinese players competing on the leaderboard starting next week. And, you know, their kind of setups, and I think it's going to be very interesting, and there's going to be a lot of like build innovation, because it's going to be such a, you know, speed focused content, which is like not really anything that is in the game like this right now, because it's just going to be easy content, but it's not going to be really only about the time. It's just going to be about how much can you kill in this time and how do you strategize this kind of stuff. So there will be some RNG to it, but there will be a lot of strategy involved here. And it's not so much about how powerful your character is. It doesn't really matter, you know, how much damage you have and stuff like that, because damage is not really relevant. It doesn't really matter how much toughness you have. It's really more about strategy and figuring out where to go when, and when to click those shrines, and you know, when to resummon or fight the bosses and stuff. And that definitely adds a very interesting element to the game. We'll see. Obviously, like I can only like, you know, say without having played this feature, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Even though I'm a bit negative about like the easy difficulty. Thinking about it a bit more, there's definitely a couple cool nuances to it, especially if we're getting like a PTR with like some hard endgame content and these kind of things. But yeah, I just wanted to, you know, share these like little details that you may have missed. I rewatched the entire footage with my stream, and yeah, we noticed a couple of these like interesting things. And I also plan on basically every week post a video here on YouTube walking you through. Obviously, like here in the current footage, you can't really see, you know, the map fully, and it's like very weird to have it like this. But I basically plan on having, you know, like a full like map layout, where to go, where which shrine is, where which boss is, and where which elite spawns, where the keys are, where the chests are, and these kind of things. And I'm just hoping to give you like a good overview. And I will also share, you know, like I'll like stream all my stuff live, and I will do my best to share all of these strategies that I will use and that other people on the leaderboards will use with you. So that's definitely like on the list here. Hope you enjoyed this overview, guys, and I have a lot more content coming. So take care, and I will see you soon. GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.